So Piyush, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Piyush, please give me a brief introduction of yourself.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Piyush Kumar. I am from Bokaro Steel City, Jharkhand, and I have done my graduation in mathematics from Sanjeeva's College, Ranchi. My hobbies are playing chess, watching sci-fi movies, and also I'm a space and astronomy enthusiast.
Okay, all right, Piyush. And Piyush, this is your first interview at UPSC?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and when is the interview?
28th January.
20, so like very recent. Okay, so
Yes, ma'am.
and please tell me, have you given any mocks so far?
Yes, ma'am. I have given few mocks in only
Okay,
IAS, Vajirao
okay.
Reddy and Unacademy. So,
All right. So Piyush, on the experience, like based on the experience of your DAF, and you must have prepared a lot till now. So please tell me, what was your experience? Where did you think you had an issue, or you want me to focus on certain issues? Please let me know.
uh, yes, ma'am. One thing that I have noticed is I have not yet prepared my state very well. So that is one area where I have to go into a bit deeper. So because my
Okay.
questions, I have noticed that the panels are not much impressed by my answers, and uh,
Okay.
and the second is I face problems in a situation-based question actually,
Okay.
how to handle those kind of questions. And
All right.
yeah, so basically these are the things that I have faced
Okay.
issues.
Okay. Okay. So Piyush, in this session, I will briefly try to give you an overview what the UPSC interview is like and what are the expectations of the panel. And apart
Yes,
from
ma'am.
that, we'll discuss your DAF. And after that, if you have any questions, please ask me.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So Piyush, when we talk about, have you worked anywhere earlier?
Yes, ma'am. I have worked with coachings as a content and a mentor, these kind of
Okay.
roles.
So have you mentioned that in your DAF?
I have mentioned, but I have not mentioned role of mentor. I have mentioned
Okay.
mostly SEO and proofreading, these kind of things, not mentor.
All right. Okay. Okay. Very well. Very well. So Piyush, first of all, about UPSC interview, it's very different from the regular job interviews because in any job interview, you are expected to have a brief knowledge about that specific area or that specific domain. But as a civil servant, you will be expected to work around, any service, be it any service, you'll have to work around various departments, various positions. So वहाँ पे they don't expect you to really be expert in any domain, but what is expected in UPSC's personality test is that you come out as a very good person. Okay, as a person also and as an officer also, they know that you might not be knowing all the nitty-gritties of how a good officer is like, but then they want to see if you're fit enough to be trained as an officer. So that becomes very important. So when you approach for UPSC interview, be it preparation or the day of interview, you have to be very clear that it's not about your knowledge.
Yes, ma'am.
Knowledge they have already tested. Okay, it's all about how you present yourself, how your demeanor is. If you see, they catch dishonesty very fast. Okay, so you have to be extremely honest there and very humble. We have to be very respectful of their opinions also. So that is what they are looking for. Also, if you are put in some situations, situation based questions or any of that, they want to see if you are an optimistic person, how do you
Okay,
look
ma'am.
at problems? Are you a solution oriented person? That is their expectation. Okay, when
Okay,
we
ma'am.
talk about the preparation, so basically UPSC interview goes in three lines. First is all about you. So it comes from your DAF, your hobbies, your background, all of it. So DAF mate is expected that you answer very thoroughly. Yeah, you should be knowing about everything in your DAF since it's all about you. And they
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
know you better. The second part is current affairs. So anything of national or international importance going on in news in this month specifically, you should
Yes,
be
ma'am.
well aware of it. And the third part is situation-based questions where they mostly want to check your values and your priorities in life. So these are the three broad areas. Now, when we talk about your DAF, the first entry is your name, Piyush. So someone might ask you, okay, what does Piyush mean? Or what does it signify to you specifically?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
The second part is two very important dates, that is your birth date and your interview
Interview.
date. So anything around those dates, anything, any historical event, if you share your birth date with anyone significant, so you should be knowing about that person and his contributions. After that, very important, your home state and your home district. So see, there are no, since I've been talking to students, there are not many students from Jharkhand. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
So if you are from Jharkhand, you will be asked a lot of questions around it. The
Yes, ma'am.
major themes तुम्हें mock में समझ गई होंगी कि what some questions might be very repeated. So you know
Yes, ma'am.
what are the major themes. Also, you what you can do is you can use your state government के websites, and also in market also interview specific material for Jharkhand is available. So you can go through that. तो उस उतना भी करोगे ना तो you will be well aware of the issues going on. Also झारखंड के जो like स्टेट के जो न्यूज चैनल्स है वो फॉलो करते रहो अगर कुछ न्यू डेवलपमेंट्स है. इट्स मोस्टली अराउंड द ट्राइबल कल्चर, द mineral potential. See, there's a lot of mineral potential in Jharkhand since the poverty, still the poverty is a lot. So the correlation between them and the challenges, and also issues like Naxalism. So
Yes,
these
ma'am.
are the broad areas जिस पे questions जाते हैं. Then again, the question on Bokaro and Jharkhand, I'll tell you simultaneously. The questions will be around the history of Jharkhand. जो historical events हुए during independence movement, or maybe before that, the tribal revolts, the kind of agriculture, traditional agriculture system there, what are the changes, land reforms, all of that. Then mineral potential, क्या-क्या कौन-कौन से minerals है, have they really helped in the development of the state, or it has been counterproductive, that you have to be thorough about. Then Jharkhand ke या Bokaro ke जो you can be asked to talk about the issues. So you should be knowing about infrastructural issues, economic issues, and social issues.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Then if there are some particular tribes in Bokaro, तो उनका culture, झारखंड के जो local culture है, be it handicrafts, textiles, songs, dances, cuisine. You should have an idea about it. The products having GI tags.
Yes,
Also,
ma'am.
the number of aspirational districts or aspirational blocks there. Which are the districts, aspirational districts, or any district affected by Naxalism? You can be asked to talk about it. Then, स्मार्ट सिटीज मिशन या फिर द इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ वेरियस गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स एंड सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स इन झारखंड. बी thoroughly prepared about it. Okay. So these are the broad areas जिसमें से question आ सकता है. And also, since you have been living in the state, then you must be aware of. See,
Yes, ma'am.
होता क्या है ना, if we are stuck in something, just don't try to find the answers in your preparation. Mostly
Yes,
बच्चे क्या करते हैं ना, प्रिपरेशन में इतना इन्वॉल्व हो जाते हैं. पीयूष, यू आर कंफर्टेबल विथ हिंदी, राइट?
yes, ma'am.
या सो बच्चे प्रिपरेशन में इतना इन्वॉल्व हो जाते हैं कि कोई कॉमन सेंसिकल क्वेश्चन भी आ जाए, बट इफ यू हैव नॉट रेड अबाउट इट, देन यू डोंट यूज योर प्रीवियस नॉलेज. सो
Yes, ma'am.
दैट टेंड्स टू हैपन, तो
Yes,
वो
ma'am.
अवॉइड करना है. जस्ट गिव अ वेरी सिंपल. क्योंकि यूपीएससी इंटरव्यू का माहौल भी ऐसा होता है ना कि यू रियली कांट थिंक एनीथिंग आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स देयर. And mostly, if you are asked that, Piyush, what should be done to improve the healthcare infrastructure in Jharkhand? तो तुम
Yes,
क्या
ma'am.
सोचोगे? झारखंड स्पेसिफिक सोचोगे तो कुछ नहीं मिलेगा.
Yes,
तो फिर
ma'am.
बेसिक बोलना है जो हम
Hmm.
मेंस में लिखते हैं कि
Yes, ma'am.
पेशेंट टू डॉक्टर रेशियो इंप्रूव होना चाहिए, गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल्स में इंप्रूव होना चाहिए, फंडिंग स्ट्रीमलाइन, ये सारी बातें करनी है. वेरी बेसिक्स यू हैव टू टॉक अबाउट, राइट?
Okay, ma'am.
अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, योर फादर, व्हाट डज योर फादर डू?
Ma'am, he's in private job. Works in Bokaro Steel Plant, but it's a private
ओके.
job. Yes.
Okay, still you be thorough with the steel sector of
Yes,
India
ma'am.
also, and Bokaro steel plant के
Yes,
बारे में.
ma'am. Yes,
Since you have
ma'am.
mentioned also Bokaro steel city,
Yes,
तो
ma'am.
उसके basics कर लेना. Now I really don't have an idea about the region, so I won't be able to give you specific questions. But उस city के बारे में, or maybe
Yes, ma'am.
the steel plant questions can be asked.
Yes,
Also,
ma'am.
then questions can go about the pollutants that emerge from the steel industry. What are the challenges in steel industry?
Yes, ma'am.
Development was, especially Jharkhand के बारे में, development versus environment. So how we
Yes,
can balance that, all of these things. You have done BSc honors, so you can be asked about things like pure sciences में enrollment क्यों कम होते जा रहे हैं, या
yes,
फिर
ma'am.
what are the schemes or programs of government to promote education in Jharkhand or pure sciences in Jharkhand. Also, you can be asked to talk about the research culture in India in comparison to Western countries. What can be done? What are the issues and challenges? All of it. Okay. And what was your optional?
PSIR.
PSIR. तो बहुत अच्छे से PSIR करके जाना. Various thinkers, their theories. Just revise it properly.
Yes,
Also,
ma'am.
the various terminologies in PSIR.
Yes, ma'am.
International relations में whatever current affairs are going on, be thorough with it. Also,
Okay, ma'am.
India's foreign policy, evolution of the foreign policy, what is current foreign policy, what are the major milestones of the foreign policy. Then also India's foreign policy in terms of our neighbors.
Yes,
It is
ma'am.
very different for each of the neighbors. So, what do you think about it? Then some principles like what is Panchashil principle or neighborhood first policy, how successful it is. So questions can be on these lines. Political science के जो basic terms होते हैं, nation, state, all
Yes,
of
ma'am.
this, we revise it thoroughly. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Then it is good that you did not mention mentor because
Yes,
then
ma'am.
they tend to, be a bit apprehensive about that. But then
Yes,
you
ma'am.
can be asked कि proofreading का मतलब
Okay.
क्या होता है? Then
Hmm.
plagiarism पे questions जा सकते हैं.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
of that. As a content creator, what was your role? What are the subjects or areas you created content in? So
Okay,
these
ma'am.
very basic questions can be asked
Yes, ma'am.
around it. Also, then why civil services? What
Yes,
is
ma'am.
your motivation to go for civil services? What are the areas or areas of importance for you? Suppose तुम झारखंड में बोकारो में ही डीएम बन गए, तो which are the issues you want to address? Then the solutions of those issues. So these questions you can
Yes, ma'am.
be asked. Then you can be asked about the इस पे बहुत ज्यादा डिस्कशन होता है द सेक्शन 7 ऑफ योर टैग सो रनर अप इन इंटर कॉलेज डिबेट ऑन इज ग्लोबलाइजेशन अ थ्रेट टू नेशनलिज्म तो इस पे एक एक्सटेंडेड कॉन्वर्सेशन होगा see
Okay,
what
ma'am.
happens is it's always good if your interview does not go on the lines of question
Yes,
and
ma'am.
answer. It
Yes,
should
ma'am.
always be a conversation. Okay, so this is a topic, globalization and nationalism. Since your optional is also PSI, you will be expected to build a conversation around this. So
Yes,
यहाँ पे
ma'am.
कोई भी question आए, just try to explain it at length.
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
that is very beneficial. So also debating के बारे में थोड़ा बहुत पूछ सकते हैं. What is the difference between a debate and elocution? या एक
Okay, ma'am.
debater के major qualities क्या होने चाहिए?
She.
These things, but that is secondary. You will be asked to talk about what is globalization, what is nationalism for you, your perspective of nationalism. Then,
Yes,
is
ma'am.
globalization actually a threat to nationalism? Also, you can be asked to talk about जो Make in India है और आत्मनिर्भर भारत है, what is its effect on India's perspective of globalization.
Yes, ma'am.
That can then what is self sufficiency क्या होता है self या फिर self dependency and self sufficiency में difference क्या होता है, all of these things. फिर nationalism के जो अलग अलग perspective, if something is like there in political science, please read it.
Okay,
तो
ma'am.
इस पे just try to build a nice conversation, at least 5 minutes or so, so it will give a nice good vibe to your interview.
Okay,
Then
ma'am. Okay.
best project right to education, gender barriers in education, organized by Children's Science Congress district level. So this is also a very interesting entry period. So you can be asked questions on right to education की कब आया, उसके जो constitutional जो भी है DPSP and all of that. Plus, what are the gender barriers in education? Then you can be asked to talk about what is girls enrollment ratio in Jharkhand,
Jharkhand.
also the dropout ratio, workforce participation, then problems, pay gap या glass ceiling, वो सब अच्छे से कर लेना.
Okay, ma'am.
Also, participation of women at like higher positions in judiciary or all of that. Then various programs of the government, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, then this Ladli Behan Yojana, all of this, have an
Yes,
idea
ma'am.
about it. इसमें से कुछ भी पूछ सकते हैं. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Then finalist inter college poetry writing. So the poetry writing है तो then have you mentioned it as your hobby? No.
No,
You
ma'am.
can be asked कि what kind of poetry do you write? What was the poet? They can even ask you to recite the poetry.
Yes,
Then
ma'am.
who is your favorite poet? Which is your favorite poetry? You must be
Okay,
able to
ma'am.
recite it if they ask so.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
ma'am.
Then cricket लिखा है तो cricket should be prepared in two lines. First is technicalities, जो
Yes,
भी
ma'am.
technical terms है cricket में या field dimensions, pitch dimensions, red ball cricket क्या होता है, all of such things, the technical part. And also non-technical में आएगा उस field के बारे में, various championships, tournaments, रणजी ट्रॉफी क्या
Yes,
होती है,
ma'am.
all of it. Then अभी जो प्रेजेंट चल रहा है, सी इफ यू सी द ट्रांसक्रिप्ट्स, अ लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस आर आस्क्ड ऑन द गावस्कर ट्रॉफी एंड इंडिया's poor
Yes,
performance.
ma'am. Yes,
So what
ma'am.
are the reasons, what do you think should have been done or to improve the performance, all of
Yes,
that.
ma'am.
Then
Yes,
which
ma'am.
is your favorite player? तो favorite player में दो बता देना, एक मेल एंड फीमेल, it will give a
Okay.
good impression. Okay, then prepare about it, why is he or she your favorite player. Then various titles in cricket, जो अलग अलग titles दिए इंडियन players को, तो वो maybe they can ask that. Head organizer for visits to orphanages, old age homes, and teaching camps in tribal areas as a part of the non-academic credit program. First, they'll ask you what is this non-academic credit program. After that, you can be asked to talk about the various tribes in Bokaro or
Yes,
various
ma'am.
tribes in Jharkhand. उसके बाद व्हाट आर द ट्राइबल पॉलिसीज, हाउ इफेक्टिव दे आर, उनके इम्प्लीमेंटेशन, ट्राइबल्स के लिए कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजंस क्या क्या है, ऑल ऑफ दैट. देन आपने जो हेड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन तो हेड ऑर्गेनाइजर, तो वेयर वेयर यू द हेड ऑर्गेनाइजर, लाइक
Yes,
डिड
ma'am.
यू वर्क फॉर एन एनजीओ और कॉलेज के थ्रू हुआ था, जो भी मतलब जहां भी आपने ये काम किया था बताइए. फिर
Okay.
ऑर्फनेजेस के बारे में पूछ सकते हैं कि ऑर्फनेजेस के लिए लॉज एंड रेगुलेशंस क्या है इंडिया में. सिमिलरली अबाउट एज ओल्ड होम्स और ट्राइबल एरियाज में, यू नो व्हाट कैन बी, सपोज ड्यूरिंग कोविड the tribals were not very receptive to the vaccinations. So what
Yes,
can be done to like confidence building measures with the tribals? Also, what are the common issues of orphanages and old age homes? How we can, you know, there is this concept of age old homes and orphanages साथ में बनाओ, so that you know they give company to each other,
yes, ma'am.
something like that. तो इन लाइंस पे उनके जो बेसिक प्रॉब्लम्स है, सीनियर सिटीजन्स के क्या प्रॉब्लम्स है, पैलेटिव केयर क्या होती है, दीज थिंग्स कैन बी डिस्कस. तो इस पे प्रिपेयर कर लेना.
Okay, ma'am.
देन प्रोजेक्ट लीड chaos therapy and its application. So what is this chaos therapy?
Ma'am, it's chaos theory. It's a part of maths.
Oh,
It's a
sorry,
theory.
theory. Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I read
Okay.
therapy. I'm sorry. So you can be asked to explain the theory. What is
Yes,
the
ma'am.
theory about? But that
Yes,
you
ma'am.
don't have to explain in technical terms. You have to explain in layman terms.
Yes,
और फिर
ma'am.
उसके applications जो जो भी होंगे वो इतना ही
Okay.
पूछेंगे. ऐसे भी हो सकता है कि आप जो बोलोगे ना उससे फॉलो अप क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. तो
Yes, ma'am.
whenever you prepare answer for any part of your that, just think कि उस पे follow up questions क्या आ सकते हैं. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Then chief coordinator Pi Day celebration. Okay,
Okay.
so see, I technically I don't know much about the Pi Day, but
Yes,
then they
ma'am.
can ask you what is the
Yes,
value
ma'am.
of pi and Pi Day क्यों बोलते हैं? Like when is
Yes,
Pi
ma'am.
Day and like why is it celebrated? And any questions around it, please prepare.
Okay, ma'am.
Then playing and learning about chess. So they can ask you कि why didn't you choose chess as a career और professionally क्यों नहीं खेलते. फिर chess में जो अभी recent developments चल रहे हैं, world championship and all, be thorough with it. Chess के technicalities के
Yes,
बारे में
ma'am.
पूछ सकते हैं if there are some terminologies around it, or you know गेम के रूल्स के बारे में जरूर पूछ सकते हैं. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, इज देयर अ लिटरल मीनिंग ऑफ चेस, चेस का
Okay.
मतलब क्या होता है, तो वैसे कर लेना. विच आर द यू नो which who was the first, like there's this title called grandmaster,
Grandmaster.
right?
Yes,
तो
ma'am.
who was the first grandmaster, फिर इंडिया से फर्स्ट ग्रैंडमास्टर क्या था, विच आर द वेरियस डिफरेंट टाइटल्स. फिर यू नो चेस को प्रमोट करने के लिए एज एन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर व्हाट कैन यू डू टू प्रमोट चेस, क्वेश्चंस लाइक दिस. The space and astronomy enthusiast, matlab they will ask you कि exactly what, like what
Okay.
are you interested in. Then you can be asked questions on India's space missions like Chandrayaan and Mangalyaan, all of that. जो भी
Yes, ma'am.
न्यूज में है या गगनयान के बारे में which will be न्यूज very soon, तो इसके बारे में पूछ सकते हैं. देन इंडिया का स्पेस सेक्टर बजट क्या है, व्हाट आर द इश्यूज इन स्पेस सेक्टर, लाइक व्हाई इज इंडिया नॉट एबल टू compete with certain countries in terms of like space research. फिर जो प्राइवेट पार्टिसिपेशन के लिए इन स्पेस एंड ऑल वो सब जो प्रोग्राम्स है इसरो के, उसके बारे में पूछा जा सकता है. Okay, so be prepared. Very briefly, not much in
Okay.
details. Since it's not your technical background नहीं है आपका, तो
Yes, ma'am.
overview जो एक यूपीएससी एस्पिरेंट को पता होना चाहिए, that they'll ask. Then watching sci-fi movies and series. So then what kind of like what is a sci-fi movie first? Then like उसके डिटेल्स पूछ सकते हैं कि उसमें एक्चुअली दिखाया क्या जाता है. विच इज योर फेवरेट मूवी, विच इज द लास्ट मूवी यू वॉच्ड, व्हाट डू यू लर्न फ्रॉम sci-fi movies. Such basic questions will
Yes,
be
ma'am.
asked. Okay. After that, so you have given police service as the fourth preference, and Second is customs. Okay, so they really don't ask questions on service and career preference, but they might ask you कि what attracted you more to revenue service
Yes,
and
ma'am.
why police services like below it. So you have
Yes,
a
ma'am.
genuine
This
answer.
is something that I wanted to ask you. Like, I have been asked in one of the mocks that why
Okay,
have I given IRS? To be honest, there is no specific explanation to it. I just didn't want to put IPS on the second and
okay.
IFS. So that is the reason why I put IRS. So what should I say if they
See,
ask me?
इसका बहुत see ऐसा है कि they themselves don't consider that आईपीएस ऊपर ही रहना चाहिए. So
Okay,
they
ma'am.
don't ask question about it. अगर पूछ लिया तो बोल दो कि sir, as much as I know myself and my temperament and my qualities, I think my capabilities will be utilized more in jobs like customs or income tax than a
Yes,
police
ma'am.
officer.
Okay,
And
ma'am.
also you can talk about the like very real challenges of police officer because the work-life balance is very poor in that field. So you
Yes,
can
ma'am.
talk about them. They appreciate if you're that honest. Just don't
Okay,
be very
ma'am.
negative about
Yes,
the
ma'am.
service.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Like आईपीएस के नेगेटिव से ज्यादा तुमको बोलना है कि कस्टम्स के क्या पॉजिटिव फॉर
Positive.
एग्जांपल इट इज आल्सो अ यूनिफॉर्म सर्विस
Yes, ma'am.
also the diversity is more you in IPS you are limited to a certain cadre but in customs you can like work all around the country and
Yes,
all of
ma'am.
that
Yes,
thing.
ma'am.
Okay. And why you want to be in civil services तो वो अच्छे से prepare कर
Okay,
लेना.
ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. And apart from see this is all about your DAF.
Yes,
Apart
ma'am.
from this if you have any doubts please ask me.
Uh, so, ma'am, since you have already given and have been selected, so I just wanted to ask, like, uh, the the environment that is during an interview, like, is it in mocks? I have find them very friendly and cordial. So, is it the same in the that interview, the real interview as well?
Actually, it depends. In both my, I've given two interviews. In both my interviews, the experience was completely different. For
Okay,
example, like my first interview, it was nothing about DAF, not a single question
okay,
came from the DAF. So every single question was situation based.
okay,
They
ma'am.
made me DM in almost 7 to 8 questions and asked me to solve certain problems. But then the chairman was very friendly and he was smiling
Okay,
all the while. And also the members, see, sometimes there are some members who will be completely disinterested in you.
yes, ma'am.
But you always have to remember कि जो question पूछ रहा है ना जो member,
Yes,
he is
ma'am.
always interested to listen to your answers. You just look towards them
Yes,
if
ma'am.
someone is not interested and it sometimes affects the confidence. So
Yes,
आप
ma'am.
उनकी तरफ देखते रहिए क्योंकि वो तो है interested आपके
Yes, ma'am.
conversation में.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
in both my interviews it happened that the chairman asked his question and went off.
Okay,
They didn't stay
okay,
for the entire interview. In my
okay,
first interview, the chairman stood up and he went somewhere. And when he came back, he just came and stood behind me, and he
okay.
was standing like this for the entire interview. So they do such things. Okay, in second interview also the chairman walked off and then came again. So they do such things to distract you. That
Okay,
might
ma'am.
happen, but all you have to do is that you have to know that they are very serious about your interview. They are not casual. You
Okay.
have to give your 100%.
Yes,
Then
ma'am.
whatever happens, it depends on them.
यस मैम और मैम मेरे साथ एक प्रॉब्लम है लाइक व्हेन दे आस्क सम क्वेश्चन एंड इफ आई एम 90% श्योर अबाउट द आंसर एंड जस्ट तो मेरे से क्या है ना कि आई स्टार्ट विथ आई थिंक वो मेरे से हो जाता है कि आई थिंक से
Don't,
हाँ
don't,
तो वो
don't.
अवॉइड करना है या
Yeah,
तो
whenever you use words like sir, I feel that, I think that, तो ऐसे लगता है ना कि you are being defensive कि सर मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है बट मुझे पता नहीं एक्चुअल
यस
में
मैम
क्या है.
यस मैम
So like practice करो तो that will reduce.
ओके मैम ओके मैम
Yeah.
ओके मैम सो दीज आर द फ्यू थिंग्स दैट
And also about situation based questions you
यस
asked
मैम
in the
यस
beginning.
मैम
Situation based question में ना ऐसे सोचना है कि ऐसे नहीं कि पीयूष क्या करेगा. You just
यस
have
मैम
to think what a good officer should do.
यस
और
मैम
अगर तुम्हारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में वो इशू है तो तुम अपने डीएम से क्या एक्सपेक्ट करोगे.
ओके
ठीक है
मैम
ऐसे लाइंस पे सोचोगे ना एंड ऑलवेज स्टिक टू द बेसिक्स.
ओके मैम
कुछ
ओके
आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स सॉल्यूशन नहीं देना है. वेरी
हम्म
बेसिक सॉल्यूशंस यू हैव टू गिव देन इट बिकम्स इजी.
ओके मैम वैसे सिचुएशन बेस्ड क्वेश्चन होते हैं where there is a family member involved and there is also some legal issues involved so there is this personal versus your legal
Morality.
Yes,
stick
ma'am.
to morality, stick to
Okay, ma'am.
the demand of your duty, because आपका इंटरव्यू तो ड्यूटी के लिए चल रहा है ना.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
It's not about being a good son or a
Yes,
good
ma'am.
brother or whatever. It's about
Yes.
being a good officer. So एक ऑफिसर ने जो करना चाहिए, ऐसे नहीं कि फैमिली को पूरा बोल दो कि नहीं
Yes,
मैं
ma'am.
फैमिली की तरफ ध्यान नहीं, ऐसे नहीं है. See, I
Okay.
was asked this question of in my very first interview, I was asked this question. You are a DM of some district and there are, there's flood
Yes,
and your
ma'am.
parents are very sick and they need you back home. They are calling you कि आ ही जाओ.
Okay,
So what
ma'am.
will you do? So I said that, sir, my duty demands that there are this thousands of people towards whom I have, some responsibility. So I will attend the district first and then I will go. Then they were like, no, your parents are calling you and you have to go. So I said that, sir, since they are not well, I will arrange a doctor for them. I will take care of the things, delegate my duties, and take care of the things here because this is urgent.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
then go back. And till then, I will tell my sibling or the doctor to attend them. But I will surely go back as soon as I can. So यहाँ पे
Okay.
balance भी हो गया.
Yes, ma'am.
ऐसे भी नहीं दिख रहा है कि तुम district को avoid कर रहे हो या
The
you know.
parents
So,
free.
so these things, yeah. So
Yeah.
ऐसे
Okay.
balance करना है.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Piyush.
ठीक है. Thank you, ma'am, for the session.
Yeah.
It was
All the
it was a good
best, Piyush.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. All the best.